The UFC's featherweight division could be set to crown a new champion if Max Holloway has anything to do with it. Current champ Alexander the Great Volkanovski is scheduled to go head-to-head with Max for the third time at UFC 276 in July, which has left fans with feelings of huge anticipation. Today, we are discussing the confirmed bout, plus other little UFC bits and pieces, so stay right where you are. First up, what have the pair been up to recently? Well, Volk was last out against the super popular Korean Zombie at UFC 273 in April, putting on an absolute clinic and stopping the longtime featherweight contender in the fourth round. The Zombie was outclassed for much of the bout and appeared slower to most exchanges, which has prompted some fans to suggest he'd be set to retire. Volkanovski racked up his 21st win in a row, a quite incredible feat, and it appears as though no one in the division is capable of touching him right now. There were even rumors he could be set to move up a division to challenge Charles Oliveira for his lightweight crown, which of course could still happen if he gets past Max unscathed. Holloway, on the other hand, has suffered 3 losses in the past 6 fights, 2 of which came at the hands of his Aussie nemesis. However, he is currently riding the crest of a wave after absolutely battering both Calvin Kattar in one of the most one-sided performances in UFC history, and also Yair Rodriguez last time out, the former featherweight champion who dethroned Jose Aldo back in 2017, as well as following that up with a win in the rematch. We'll be hoping to take back the title he sees as his own when the pair fight for the third time come July. Who do you see coming out on top? Let's discuss the title fight in a little more detail then. Of course, the two were supposed to fight again for the third time in April, but Max had to pull out thanks to injury, being replaced by the Zombie. And the fight, which will take place on the same card as Volk's teammate, Israel Adesanya, will be the third time the pair have met for the title. The Aussie defeated Holloway to take his title at UFC 245 in December of 2019, scoring a unanimous decision win. The pair then danced again the following July in a much closer contest, with the former rugby league man coming out on top in a split decision, which some fans suggested might not have been the correct result. And following his withdrawal for the fight in April, Holloway then suggested he was fit enough to be on standby for the fight should Sung Jung pull out, which prompted Volk to question the Hawaiian. He said, "I don't get it, man. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on." The Great then suggested that the whole thing doesn't make sense, before questioning why we're even doing this in the first place, which to be fair, kinda makes sense. If you're injured, right? If he thought there was a chance he was gonna make the fight, he would have gone for as long as possible to give himself every chance he needed to make it. Very strange. What do you guys make of this? What else did the champ have to say? Well, Volk has appeared on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour podcast a couple of times since his last outing, claiming on both occasions that he wants to fight 3 times this year, which he could easily do if he gets past Max with minimal damage come July. And earlier this month, he reiterated his desire to get back inside the octagon as soon as possible, saying, "I want to get back in there. I said I want to fight regularly this year. I want a few fights, and I'm looking to get back in there soon, and why not? Fighting is a short career, and Volk has said in the past that he wants to make as much money from the sport as possible. With the talent he has, we can understand why." He went on to say that it was all about the timing, again mentioning the lightweight title, saying, "There's that lightweight fight I've got a close eye on, but I want to be in there as soon as possible, waiting for that and the right time to do that. The timing's not going to work, so I want to get back in there." If he does beat Max for a third time, there will be those in the game who will possibly crown him as the best featherweight in history. However, Jose also defended the title 7 times, so before he has done that, some fans will say he cannot yet be considered as the GOAT. What do you think? Next up, Volk has given his thoughts on who the GOAT is. After his most recent appearance on the MMA Hour podcast, Volk has claimed that once he beats Max for the third time, he'll become the greatest UFC featherweight of all time. Of course, Holloway is the closest fighter to Volk in the rankings and in skill set, which has led to the Aussie claiming that he will take GOAT status from current incumbent, Jose Aldo. Some have even said Max himself is the featherweight GOAT, but given the fact that he has lost twice to Volkanovski in recent years, this could be seen as slightly wide of the mark. And Volkanovski, who accepted a fight with Max after his last 2 performances, again than aforementioned Kattar and Rodriguez, said that if he beats Max 3 times whilst he is in his prime, the argument as to who is the best featherweight in history sides heavily with him. He revealed, "You and everyone are gonna say that I'm the GOAT. I'm the pound for pound #1. Look at what position this one will put me in. Because look at what position he's in, and he's gone on a tear as well with wins himself. So this certainly makes this fight better, and only puts me in a better position if I get another win over him right now." But some have said the work done before him by both Aldo and Holloway means he still has a little bit more to do before being considered the GOAT. Who is your featherweight GOAT? Volk has also said he plans to end Holloway's stay in the featherweight division for good. Alexander Volkanovski has recently outlined his plans to not just end talk of Holloway being the featherweight GOAT, but also forcing him out of the featherweight division for good. As we all know, Volk is unbeaten during his time in the UFC, but records have to come to an end at some point, unless your name is Khabib Nurmagomedov. Of course, Holloway has lost both fights against the Australian so far, and Volk has suggested that another win will see him crowned the greatest fighter in the UFC right now, not just the featherweight division. As well as this, he laid out plans to move up a division to challenge Oliveira, a man his current foe, Max Holloway, holds a win over. Volk then suggested that the upcoming fight is a big risk for Max, who risks losing his credibility in the division should he be beaten 3 times by the same man, the man who took his title. Volk said, "Because right now he's still in the GOAT talks, still a great fighter in a lot of people's eyes. People think he's still at the top, but after this one, and with what I plan on doing, that all goes away. Wow, big words from the current champ. He went on to explain that no one can be considered for GOAT status when they have lost 3 times to the same person, before claiming he's not throwing shade at Max. It's just facts. Who do you think holds the greatest threat to Volk's crown at the moment? And finally, Conor McGregor has announced which featherweight inflicted the most damage on him. During McGregor's run at the featherweight crown back in 2015, he took on Chad Mendes as a replacement fighter for Jose Aldo, who had to pull out of their UFC 189 title fight due to injury. And speaking last week, McGregor has claimed that it was in this fight where he actually received the most punishment. Strangely, there was no mention of Khabib. Mendes took McGregor down and dished out some pretty brutal ground and pound before McGregor got to his feet and knocked the American out, dismissing Khabib for just laying on top of him. He said about Chad, "Them elbows are no joke, nor the up kicks. Everyone's ground and pound is piss. Not a scratch has there ever been on me. Mendes only won. Fair play all the same. Bare knuckle Chad." Of course, McGregor has lost a number of times since his 2015 bout, of which Mendes described the crazy experience on Instagram a while back. What do you make of McGregor's words? As always, thanks for stopping by today, and remember to join us next time when we'll be discussing all sorts of other fun bit and pieces. And why not do us a solid by sharing today's video with any MMA heads you know of? And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Bye guys!